Well, what a surprise. Hello all, welcome into a very early special edition of Matt's version of Tube Talk. And of course, we're recording remotely again. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Dion. How are you?
Good.
In Albert's absence, I just thought we'd do just a brief tube talk for our runners on Wednesday. We've got 5 runners at Cambridge, plus 1 at Canterbury Park in Sydney. So I just thought I'd cover those off and get it out there to people just so they're aware of the runners we have got on Wednesday today.
Good stuff. So let's get into it. Race 3, you've got 3 in there. Eridani, Raggedy Dole and She Speeds, all on a rating 65 over 1550 metres, Matt.
Yeah, 3 runners in the same race. Not very often that happens, but it's just circumstances at this time of the year with tracks and those sort of things. So Eridani, last start winner and a very good last start winner at that. She's been racing in good form prior to her last start. She hadn't had the rub of the green really going her way. So it was a good positive ride from Danielle Johnson last start. Got her out and rolling at the right time. She finished the race off very strongly for a good and well-deserved win. She has drawn awkwardly again today in barrier 11, so she is going to need luck. But I think the key is riding is similar to what we did last start, which will be just quiet in the early stages and then looking to roll into the race at the right time. And she is going up in distance, but I don't see that as a negative. I think the way she finished the race off last start indicates that 1550 will be ideal. She will need a bit of luck, but I certainly do think she is a good top 3 chance and also a winning chance once again. We then go to Raggedy Dole. She's another that hasn't had all the luck going her way in recent starts. She has been getting a long way back in the fields. She has drawn barrier 5 tomorrow, which should allow her to settle a lot closer. She's going to be ridden by Taiki Yanagita, who claims 1 kilo, and I'd just like to see a good positive ride in the early stages. Should allow her to settle close to the speed. It'll be interesting to see how she goes back on a firmer surface. I think this will suit, and I do think she can go a nice race also. And then down to She Speeds, who's drawn barrier 6 with Ashvin Gawindasamy in the saddle. She needs to lift on what she's done. I thought her last run for 4th was a good enough effort, but overall she has been slightly disappointing since running 3rd at Te Rapa. We do want to see some improvement from her. She was popped over a few logs yesterday morning just to make sure she sharpened up and got a mind on the job, and she certainly looks, I saw a video of her coming off the track, she looks nice and bright and ready to go a good race tomorrow from a good barrier.
Good stuff. And then we jump up to race 6 and we have Darcy Palmer and Thread the Needle.
Yeah, Darcy Palmer, well, he's been very unlucky in his last 4 starts on the poly track. He finished 3rd on his first start on the poly and subsequently has run 3 seconds and very close seconds at that. He's another going up in distance. He's been racing over 970 metres, which he's just getting a bit older now and he's just lacking a bit of that early speed and sort of being forced to chase throughout. So I think going up to the 1300 metres should allow him to settle. He's drawn beautifully in barrier 1. We've got a good rider in Kozi Asano in the saddle. It does give us options as to where he settles in the field, but as I say, there will be not as much early speed, which will play into his hands, and I do think he has a very good chance in that race. And we then go to Thread the Needle, drawn barrier 11 with Ashvin Gawindasamy. Her last run at Cambridge, she was caught wide and on the speed throughout. She had quite a tough run. I think it is a run that's best ignored. She finished 3rd on the poly track 2 starts ago, so she does handle it. We do need to see some improvement from her, but she is going well, and I do think her run 2 starts ago is a pointer to a form. Forget her last start. She will need luck from barrier 11, but as long as she can get out and rolling, and if she has to sit 3 wide throughout, it doesn't concern me on the poly track, and she can be right there at the finish with the brakes going her way.
And of course, that race is a rating 65 over 1300 metres. Then we hop over to Sydney, race 7 at Canterbury Park. We've got Wairere Falls.
Yeah, he's had a 3-week gap between runs, or not quite a 3-week gap between runs. He is also nominated to race at Randwick on Saturday, but Chris has just thrown a nomination in for this race this evening. He was just a bit flat when he last raced. He finished 5th, but he was on a 7-day backup, which I really don't think worked for Wairere Falls. Hence the reason he's had a good gap between runs. He's drawn well in barrier 5. Tommy Berry in the saddle, drawn to get a lovely run throughout, and I think he has a really good chance. The one concern being he does have 60 kilos to carry, which is a fair bit of pudding, but he's a strong horse, and I do believe he is capable of carrying that type of weight.
And that, of course, is a benchmark 72 over 1550 metres. And then, Matt, you wanted to talk about the 3-year-old bay gelding Mock Taffy?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of success and some really good luck buying horses out of Newmarket up in the UK. We bought Mock Taffy over the weekend, a 3-year-old, lovely style of horse. He just profiles beautifully for the horse, for coming into racing in Australia. We always, at that sale, we look for horses that have got good enough form and good form around them also, which is very important. They have to be capable of racing on good firm tracks, which is what they'll strike in Australia. He ticks both of those boxes. He's a horse that's got plenty of physical improvement in him, which is something we also look for. And I think a good example of that is Skyman, who we brought up there a couple of years ago. We identified him as a horse that had a lot of natural improvement in him physically. And this horse ticks that box. The form around him is exceptional. He's by Lope de Vega, who is one of the most expensive stallions in the world, standing at $250,000. He has been popular since we bought him. The share sales in him have been going well, but we do still have limited shares available. So if anyone is interested, if you can just have a look at the video of him there, you see he's got a lovely walk. Just a really fluent walk, a nice athletic horse. So if you are interested, don't hesitate to pick up the phone and give me a call. My number is 027 203 776, or email me at matt@goracing.co.nz if you like to find out more information about Mock Taffy. But a really exciting opportunity.
Beauty. And then, Matt, do you want the...
No, in my version of YouTube or TubeTalk, we don't do. There's none of that polish or any of the Bosma flashiness. We just keep it, just down to the basics, mate.
Go on then. Bet of the week.
So, bet of the week. I think Darcy Palmer is a really good chance today. I think he's probably the best of our chances at Cambridge, going on the form he's been racing in. I like Wairuri Falls also, but I just want to talk about Mubaraz, who is one of the horses we bought out of Newmarket 2 years ago. He's racing at Royal Randwick on Saturday. He's been racing in super form. He ran second last start. Prior to that, he won his previous 2 starts, going very, very well. The draws aren't out yet for that meeting, but I think if he races up to the form that he has been showing over his last few starts, and I don't see any reason why he can't continue on with that form, I think he's a very good each-way chance again at Randwick on Saturday. He's banked, since he's come down to Australia, he's banked a smidge under 250,000 Australian dollars. He's flying at the moment, racing with a lot of confidence, and I do think he is the horse to follow this weekend.
Good stuff. And Matt, you'll cover those horses in a usual email when the fields come out?
So for the runners post-Wednesday, we've got runners on Friday and also Saturday. So what I'll do, I'll just cover them off in the normal weekly report that I send out, and that'll come out on, it'll either be Thursday or early Friday. But as I said earlier, I just wanted to give everyone an update on our runners today, and also show them a video and talk a wee bit about Mock Taffy.
Great stuff. And will we see you next week, Matt?
Well, it depends on what sort of reviews we get or what sort of criticism or compliments, but we'll leave that up to the viewers.
Nice one. Over and out.
Thanks, Chopper. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
First for home from Excess Knowledge. Snow Sky joining in, and now Trip to Paris is coming. They're followed then by Who Shot the Barman, going for a run on the inside is Our Ivanhoe. Coming past the 300 metres, Excess Knowledge went to the lead narrowly. Here's Prince of Penzance coming on down the outside. Prince of Penzance from Michelle Payne. Now Max Dynamite starts to charge home. Prince of Penzance from Max Dynamite. Prince of Penzance, it's history at Flemington. Michelle Payne